Every man and woman carries a mystery within them, a story that began long before the moment of their birth. Buddhism teaches us that the present life is but one chapter in a vast continuum, shaped by causes and conditions that stretch beyond what the eye can see. The soul, or more precisely the flow of consciousness, carries traces of past actions, lessons, and unfinished desires into this existence. This is why, when you look deeply at your life, certain patterns repeat themselves, certain strengths seem to come naturally, and certain struggles feel as though they have been with you for centuries. One of the most intriguing ways people have tried to glimpse into this hidden history is through numbers, symbols, and signs that act like fingerprints of karma. The last digit of your birth year is one such mirror. It does not define you completely, but it reflects a resonance, a karmic echo, that whispers of where you have been and what you carry into this life. When understood through the lens of Buddhist wisdom, these numbers are not superstition. They are reminders that nothing in your life is random. This is not just fortune-telling, it is self-knowing, it is a way of awakening. 0 dash, the path of completion. If the last digit of your birth year is 0, it symbolizes a soul that has been walking the path of completion. In Buddhist thought, nothing ever truly begins or ends. Everything moves in cycles of becoming. Yet when you carry the mark of 0, you carry the energy of closure, the lessons of lives where much has already been experienced, tested, and transformed. Your past life was likely one of deep searching, where you may have traveled far, sought wisdom from teachers, or endured trials that brought you closer to understanding impermanence. For men and women born with this number, the present life often feels like carrying an invisible weight. You sense that you have lived through struggles before. You may even find yourself less impressed by shallow victories, because somewhere in your heart you already know their emptiness. This is the gift of karmic memory. It allows you to focus not on chasing endless desires, but on polishing the soul into clarity. The Buddhist way forward for you is to honor the silence between things. Learn to let go without clinging, love without possession, and work without ego. Your past lives have already shown you the futility of greed and anger. In this life, your task is not to add more, but to empty yourself, to make space for awakening. This is why people with 0 often become natural teachers, leaders, or quiet pillars of strength. The lesson of your past life is simple yet profound. You are nearing the end of certain karmic debts, and your spirit longs for freedom. If you ignore this, you may fall into cycles of boredom, detachment, or restlessness. But if you embrace it with clarity, you can live this life not as a prisoner of desire, but as a man or woman who walks with peace, guiding others toward liberation. Your number whispers, you have seen much. Now use your wisdom to help the world remember what truly matters. 1. The path of beginnings. If the last digit of your birth year is 1, it signals a soul that has been placed at the threshold of new beginnings. In Buddhism, beginnings are not random. They are born from the ripening of past karma, like a seed breaking open after years underground. A one soul has lived a past life of transition, where an old chapter ended and a new one was preparing to unfold. This number points to rebirth after struggle, a spirit that carries courage, initiative, and the restless fire of starting anew. For men and women with this digit, life often feels like an arena where you must carve your own path. In a past life, you may have been bound by tradition, perhaps constrained by family duty, war, or rigid structures. That existence taught you the value of discipline, but it also planted the longing to break free. This time around, you are being asked to step into individuality. You are not meant to hide in the shadow of others, but to awaken as someone who forges ahead, even when the path is uncertain. Yet, this energy of beginning comes with a shadow. The mind may feel restless, never satisfied, always chasing the next challenge. You may be tempted to abandon projects, relationships, or even yourself when difficulties arise. This is because your soul remembers the weight of limitation, and it fears becoming trapped again. Buddhist wisdom reminds you, beginnings are not escapes, they are opportunities for mindful creation. You must learn to stay, to nurture, and to allow what you plant to grow with patience. Your past life has already given you the tools of endurance. In this life, you are meant to blend that endurance with boldness. The lesson for you is to move forward with awareness, not rushing blindly, not resisting change, but embracing it as a natural expression of impermanence. The karmic whisper of 1 is clear. Your soul chose this life to be a pioneer. Do not fear new paths, but walk them with mindfulness. You are here to begin something that matters. 2. The path of balance. If the last digit of your birth year is 2, it points to a soul that has carried the karmic weight of relationships and dualities. In Buddhist wisdom, life is always a dance of opposites: joy and sorrow, strength and weakness, attachment and release. A 2 soul has lived past lives where the lesson of harmony was central. Perhaps you were someone who mediated between warring sides, or who struggled with deep attachment, learning the sting of both love and loss. These experiences etched into your spirit the truth that balance is not just a choice, it is a necessity for peace. Men and women with this number often feel deeply attuned to the emotions of others. You may carry an almost natural empathy, sensing the unspoken pain or joy in those around you. This gift is not random. It is the echo of lifetimes where your survival depended on harmony, where understanding another's heart meant safety and connection. Yet this gift also comes with a challenge. You may lose yourself in others, give too much, or bend until you break. Your karmic task in this life is to learn how to love without losing yourself. Buddhism teaches the middle way, not clinging, not rejecting, but walking with equanimity. For you, this means building relationships rooted in compassion, but free of unhealthy dependence. Your soul remembers the heaviness of being entangled in others' destinies. This time, you are called to bring balance, to give and to receive, to hold and to release, to care for others without abandoning your own path. If you resist this balance, you may feel pulled in many directions, torn between duty and desire, or crushed under the weight of others' expectations. But when you embrace your karmic lesson, you become a steady force in a world of extremes. You embody the middle way, not only for yourself, but for those who are lost in chaos. The whisper of your number is this: you have known the pain of imbalance. Now you are here to master harmony, to stand firmly in yourself while walking with compassion for others. 3. The path of expression. If the last digit of your birth year is 3, it carries the mark of a soul that has long sought expression. In Buddhist wisdom, the mind is like a painter, constantly creating worlds through thoughts, words, and actions. A 3 soul has lived past lives where communication, creativity, or teaching were central. Perhaps you were a poet, a monk sharing wisdom, or even a wanderer whose voice carried truth from one village to another. That energy still flows within you, urging you to give form to what lies hidden in your heart. For men and women with this number, silence often feels heavy, almost unnatural. You may have ideas bubbling inside you, a strong urge to speak, write, or create. This is no accident. Your soul remembers the joy of shaping reality with expression. But here lies the challenge. Unchecked words can wound as much as they heal, and creativity without mindfulness can lead to illusion. In Buddhism, right speech is a pillar of the path, reminding you that your words carry karmic weight. Your task in this life is to use your gift of expression as a vehicle for truth, not vanity. In past lives, you may have tasted both the light and the shadow of expression. Perhaps you were honored for your wisdom or condemned for speaking too boldly. Perhaps you deceived others with charm or uplifted them with compassion. Whatever the case, the karmic echo remains. Your words have power. Now, you must use them with awareness. This number calls you to creativity, but also to responsibility. Expression is not about being heard for the sake of attention. It is about giving voice to what liberates, inspires, and awakens. When your words and actions align with compassion, they ripple outward like a stone dropped in still water, touching lives you may never meet. The whisper of 3 is this: your soul was born to express truth. Speak with courage, create with clarity, and let your expression serve as a bridge between your inner world and the awakening of others. 4. The path of stability. If the last digit of your birth year is 4, your soul carries the imprint of building, grounding, and structure. In Buddhist wisdom, a house cannot stand without a solid foundation, and neither can a life. A 4 soul often comes from past lives where discipline, duty, or order were central themes. Perhaps you lived as a farmer tied to the cycles of the earth, a monk devoted to temple routines, or even a leader responsible for holding a community together. Whatever the form, stability was your karmic training ground. Men and women with this number often feel an instinctive need for order. You may find comfort in routine, in creating systems, or in building something that lasts. This does not mean you crave control for its own sake. It means your soul remembers the value of strong roots, yet with this strength comes a challenge. The same stability that grounds you can become a prison if you cling too tightly. Past lives may have taught you the pain of rigidity, where refusing to bend led to suffering. Your lesson in this life is to cultivate stability without falling into attachment. Buddhism teaches that while discipline is vital, it must be balanced with flexibility. The middle way reminds you that stability is not about resisting change, but providing a steady center when change arrives. Your gift is to be a pillar, but not a pillar of stone. You are meant to be steady yet alive, rooted yet adaptable, grounded yet compassionate. If ignored, this karmic lesson can turn into stubbornness, fear of change, or a life spent clinging to safety. But if embraced with awareness, you can create foundations that nurture growth in yourself, your relationships, and even your community. Your presence can become a place of refuge for others, not because you resist life's storms, but because you know how to stand firm within them. The whisper of 4 is simple. You have built before, and you will build again. This time, let your stability be guided by wisdom, strong enough to support others, yet open enough to let life flow through you. 5. The path of freedom. If the last digit of your birth year is 5, it carries the mark of a soul that has long sought liberation. In Buddhist wisdom, craving is the root of suffering, and freedom comes not from indulgence, but from release. A 5 soul often comes from past lives marked by restriction, perhaps bound by strict duty, controlled by authority, or trapped in attachments that stifled the spirit. That karmic memory now drives you toward exploration, independence, and the refusal to live chained. For men and women with this number, life often feels like an open road calling. You may hunger for adventure, resist routine, or feel suffocated when confined. This is not rebellion for its own sake. It is your soul remembering the weight of being trapped. Past lives have carved into you the deep knowing that freedom is sacred, and in this life you are determined to taste it fully. Yet freedom has 2 faces. If pursued without mindfulness, it can turn into recklessness, chasing pleasures, abandoning responsibilities, or fleeing from commitments. But true freedom, in the Buddhist sense, is not running away. It is seeing through illusions. It is living fully without being enslaved by desire. Your karmic task is to transform your craving for outer freedom into the cultivation of inner liberation. This means learning how to move through the world lightly, to love without clinging, to travel without losing your roots, and to explore without escaping yourself. Your adventurous spirit is not a curse. It is a gift meant to awaken courage in others. When guided by wisdom, you inspire those around you to step beyond fear, to expand their horizons, and to live authentically. If ignored, your lesson may manifest as restlessness, dissatisfaction, or a constant feeling that something is missing. But if embraced with clarity, you can embody the truth that the greatest freedom is not outside, but within the mind. The whisper of 5 is this: your soul has tasted captivity. Now you are here to embody freedom, not the fleeting freedom of escape, but the eternal freedom of awakening. 6. The path of service. If the last digit of your birth year is 6, it marks a soul drawn to service, compassion, and responsibility. In Buddhist understanding, the path of service is not sacrifice alone. It is an expression of awakened heart energy. A 6 soul has likely lived past lives where caring for others, protecting communities, or tending to the suffering of those around you was central. Perhaps you were a healer, a teacher, or a parent carrying great responsibility. These experiences left your spirit deeply attuned to the welfare of others. Men and women with this number often feel the weight of responsibility early. You may be drawn to caretaking roles, find fulfillment in nurturing, or feel restless when those around you are in pain. This is no coincidence. Your karmic memory reminds you that the world is interconnected, and the welfare of others is inseparable from your own inner peace. Yet this path also carries challenges. Past lives may have left you vulnerable to overgiving, to the exhaustion that comes from putting everyone else first, or to the subtle resentment that can arise when care is unreciprocated. Buddhism teaches balance in service. The Bodhisattva ideal embodies this: to serve all beings without attachment, without seeking reward, yet with full compassion. In this life, you are being called to cultivate this kind of mindful generosity. Serve not to gain praise, but because it is a reflection of your true nature. Set boundaries when necessary, but act from the heart, letting kindness be an extension of wisdom, not mere habit. Your karmic task is to learn how to integrate service with self-care. When done mindfully, your actions become a channel of liberation for yourself and for others. People are drawn to your energy because it carries authenticity, courage, and the quiet strength that comes from walking a path of conscious responsibility. The whisper of 6 is clear. You have been called to serve across lifetimes. Now let your compassion be wise, your care balanced, and your heart open without losing itself. 7. The path of wisdom. If the last digit of your birth year is 7, your soul carries the imprint of seeking truth and inner understanding. In Buddhist wisdom, the pursuit of knowledge is more than intellectual. It is a quest for liberation, an inquiry into the nature of reality itself. A 7 soul has likely lived past lives as a seeker, a teacher, or a practitioner, devoted to uncovering hidden truths. Perhaps you studied sacred texts, meditated in solitude, or observed the patterns of life to understand the causes of suffering. Men and women with this number often feel a deep inner pull toward introspection. You may find the ordinary chatter of life shallow or distracting. You are drawn to meditation, philosophy, and moments of quiet reflection because your soul remembers the value of stillness and insight. Yet wisdom comes with a challenge. It can easily breed isolation, detachment, or even arrogance if it is pursued solely for self-validation rather than liberation. Past lives may have taught you both the power and the peril of knowing too much without applying it compassionately. Your karmic task in this life is to turn knowledge into understanding and understanding into action. Buddhism teaches that wisdom without compassion is incomplete. You are being called to embody insight in a way that benefits others, whether through guidance, teaching, or simply by living a life that reflects truth. This path requires patience, humility, and the ability to sit with uncertainty, knowing that ultimate understanding is a horizon, not a destination. If ignored, your lessons may manifest as overthinking, skepticism, or an unfulfilled search for meaning. But when embraced, your number empowers you to navigate life with clarity and depth, to perceive subtle truths, and to illuminate paths for others who are lost in confusion. The whisper of 7 is profound. You have lived to seek truth. Now, let your insight serve liberation, your knowledge serve compassion, and your life reflect the quiet power of awakened wisdom. 8. The path of power. If the last digit of your birth year is 8, your soul carries the energy of authority, influence, and mastery. In Buddhist philosophy, power itself is neutral. It is the intention behind it that determines whether it brings liberation or suffering. A 8 soul has likely lived past lives where leadership, wealth, or control were central. Perhaps you were a ruler, a strategist, or someone whose decisions shaped the lives of many. These experiences left a karmic imprint of strength, responsibility, and the need for balance. Men and women with this number often feel naturally capable and driven. You possess an instinctive understanding of strategy, systems, and how to manifest results. People may look to you for guidance, support, or authority. Yet with this power comes risk. Past lives may have exposed you to the corrupting nature of attachment, pride, or misuse of influence. In this life, you are being asked to wield your power with awareness, humility, and compassion. Buddhism teaches that true power is not domination, but mastery over oneself. Your karmic task is to cultivate inner discipline, integrity, and equanimity. When your mind is steady and your intentions pure, your external influence becomes a reflection of your inner strength. This is the path of conscious leadership, to act decisively while remaining unattached to ego, recognition, or fear. Ignoring this lesson can lead to misuse of power, overambition, or a life consumed by external validation. Embracing it transforms you into a stabilizing force for others, someone who can lead without exploiting, guide without controlling, and inspire without demanding. The whisper of 8 is clear. You have known the taste of authority. Now let your strength be tempered with wisdom, your influence guided by compassion, and your life a testament to conscious mastery. 9. The path of completion and compassion. If the last digit of your birth year is 9, your soul carries the energy of culmination, compassion, and spiritual fulfillment. In Buddhist wisdom, the number 9 resonates with the completion of cycles, a symbol that your soul has experienced the lessons of life repeatedly and is now moving toward higher understanding. Your past lives were likely filled with deep learning, teaching, and acts of service that required patience, empathy, and resilience. You have carried both joy and suffering, and these experiences have ripened your heart with insight. Men and women with this number often feel a pull toward purpose beyond personal gain. You are drawn to help, guide, or uplift others because your soul remembers the interconnectedness of all beings. There may have been lifetimes where you bore responsibility for others' well-being or served in ways that shaped communities. Such experiences have gifted you with natural empathy, foresight, and moral clarity. Yet this path comes with challenges. You may be tempted to overextend yourself, absorb the pain of others, or become burdened by the weight of responsibility. Your karmic task in this life is to integrate compassion with discernment. Buddhism teaches that while empathy is essential, attachment and self-neglect lead to suffering. You are meant to serve without losing yourself, to act without clinging, and to love without expectation. By doing so, you fulfill the deeper purpose of your past lives, to embody wisdom and compassion fully. Ignoring this lesson can manifest as burnout, frustration, or feeling that life is unfair. Embracing it allows you to transform experience into guidance, challenge into clarity, and empathy into liberation. Your presence can soothe, inspire, and awaken those around you. The whisper of 9 is powerful. You have carried the cycles of life before. Now let your wisdom guide your actions, your compassion shape your choices, and your life become a beacon of completion and service. The last digit of your birth year is more than a number. It is a mirror of your soul's journey across lifetimes. Each digit carries the echoes of past experiences, lessons, and karmic patterns that shape who you are today. From beginnings and endings, freedom and responsibility, to wisdom, compassion, and transformation, your soul brings forward the qualities it has cultivated over countless lives. Buddhism teaches that awareness of these patterns is not for fear or superstition, but for conscious living. By understanding the resonance of your number, you gain insight into your strengths, challenges, and the spiritual tasks that await you. Embrace this knowledge with mindfulness, allowing it to guide your choices, deepen your compassion, and awaken the true potential of your life. Your past lives whisper to you. Listen, reflect, and act with clarity. Every action, every thought, every intention becomes a step toward liberation, shaping not just this life, but the cycles yet to come. Your journey is sacred, and your number is a signpost lighting the way.